The skies over Gaza are dark with smoke again tonight. Israeli airstrikes have intensified across multiple sectors, even as ceasefire talks enter their third day in Egypt. The contradiction could not be sharper: war in the skies, diplomacy at the table. From Gaza City to Khan Younis, missiles find their marks. Residential blocks already scarred by earlier rounds are now being struck again. Hospitals report that new casualties continue to fill corridors. Medical staff are stretched to breaking point. Every delay in negotiating a truce is paid in lives. Yet in Cairo and Sharm el-Sheikh, negotiators press on. Egypt, Qatar, the UN, and other mediators shuttle between rooms and back channels, attempting to salvage a deal. The framework being discussed includes a full ceasefire, territorial pullbacks, humanitarian corridors, and hostage exchanges. But the hardest element looms large: convincing Israel to halt its bombings while trust is so fragile. In Israel, the government defends the strikes as necessary. Officials argue they are striking Hamas infrastructure, weapons caches, and tunnel systems. They say that any ceasefire without pressure would allow Hamas to regroup and rearm. And some wings of the military urge more aggressive action until demands are met. Others caution that public and international backlash is already heating. Within Netanyahu's coalition, tensions flare. Hardliners push for total military victory. Moderates push back, warning that prolonged offensive risk Israel's global standing and public opinion. The government tries diplomacy while simultaneously sustaining strikes, walking a razor's edge. In Gaza, the humanitarian crisis deepens. Displaced families, already squeezed into overcrowded shelters, are forced to flee again. Food, fuel, water, all are scarce. Medical supplies run dangerously low. Some hospitals are operating with no power. Ambulance routes are blocked, making it impossible to transport critically injured people. Aid convoys are piling up at border crossings, waiting days for permissions. Many are turned back. The negotiations in Egypt discuss opening crossings and creating safe corridors. But agreements on maps and words are one thing, actual access is another. In the conflict zones, ceasefire violations and misunderstandings can disrupt support at any moment. Ceasefire talks on day 3 are tense. Negotiators are wrestling over sequencing. Does bombing stop first, or do hostages begin to be released first? Do both operations happen simultaneously? Who monitors compliance? Which areas are safe zones? These technical details often decide the success or collapse of a truce. In previous rounds, ceasefires fell apart due to breaches, rockets fired, strikes resumed, expectations unmet. Many in Gaza are skeptical. Civilian saves say they've seen promises broken before, so any new agreement must have strong guarantees, independent monitors, and enforcement mechanisms. International pressure is mounting. Arab states, European countries, and the United Nations issue statements condemning ongoing strikes during peace talks. Some call for sanctions. Others threaten cutting diplomatic support. The United States, while backing Israel's right to defense, warns that continued bombardment during negotiation will undercut the process. On the ground, people are surrendering to exhaustion. Many have nowhere left to go. Children refuse to sleep. Parents weep over what remains of their homes. Volunteers provide aid in the margins, but they cannot keep up, and every explosion echoes with the same question: how many more will die before peace arrives? Meanwhile, Hamas is under pressure too. It must show flexibility, releasing some hostages, limiting rocket fire, signaling seriousness without appearing to capitulate. Its behavior in these negotiations will shape whether Gaza sees real breathing room or another flare of conflict. Regional players watch closely. Iran, Hezbollah, Syria, and allied militias could be drawn in. Israel fears that a broader war might open multiple fronts. Egypt and Jordan worry that refugee flows could destabilize their borders. The risk is that a localized ceasefire collapse could spark wider confrontation. One scenario gaining traction among analysts is a temporary local ceasefire, limited to certain zones for fixed hours. This might allow medical evacuations and aid deliveries, building trust incrementally. But skeptics warn that local agreements often fail to scale across entire Gaza. unless backed by full military pauses. Another scenario is a conditional deal. Strikes continue outside specified zones, while inside red zones bombing halts. Or the reverse, airstrikes suspend first, then ground operations complete a pause. But such partial pauses are nearly impossible to police in the chaos of war. As the third day of talks unfolds, the tension is electric. If Israel refuses to pause strikes, the talks may collapse from the start. If it pauses only partially, Hamas may see it as insincere and retaliate. Mediators must navigate these landmines with care. For Gaza civilians, the stakes are immediate. A real ceasefire means safety, food, medical aid, and hope. A failure means more ruin, loss, and despair. Lives hang in the balance, and momentum in Cairo may be the last chance to avert further disaster.